Key 1. Stoic Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest leaders in history, wasn't perfect. In fact, he faced the same struggles we all do. Even as an emperor, he found himself drifting away from the person he aspired to be, often lamenting his failures. In Meditations, he compares himself to a beast or a monkey, feeling as though he had fallen from his potential. But in his reflection, he also offers a powerful insight. In just a week, he could transform. By recommitting to his beliefs, his philosophy, and his purpose, he could rise again, almost as though he were God. This realization resonates with many of us, especially as the year winds down. We often feel drained, off course, or disconnected from our best selves. But here's the good news. We don't have to stay stuck in that state. The path to becoming our best selves is still open to us, and we can always start fresh. By rediscovering our principles, returning to our guiding wisdom, and committing to the work ahead, we can transform into the person we're meant to be. The potential is there. We just need to pick it back up. Marcus Aurelius also offered a piece of profound advice. Be your own savior while you can. What better time to embrace this philosophy than at the start of a new year? There's no better moment to take charge of your life, to shed old patterns, and to pursue the person you want to become. This mindset is exemplified by Seneca, another Stoic who would begin each new year by immersing himself in the freezing cold waters of the Tiber River. This ritual wasn't just about physical endurance. It was a symbolic act of cleansing and self-discipline. For Seneca, it was a reminder of his strength and an assertion that he could endure hardships and emerge stronger. As we enter this new year, it's an ideal time to adopt Stoic-inspired challenges and create a version of ourselves we can be proud of. The Stoics knew that the mind and body are deeply connected. They understood that physical strength is just as important as mental resilience. They weren't just philosophers in the traditional sense. Many were warriors, athletes, and adventurers who regularly pushed themselves beyond their limits. Think about the Stoics. Socrates was a soldier who thrived in tough conditions. Marcus Aurelius wrestled and hunted. Cleanthes was a boxer. Epictetus lifted weights. And Seneca, as mentioned, plunged into cold water every year. These were not mere academics. They were active, practical people who believed that enduring physical challenges strengthened their minds and their ability to withstand life's emotional challenges. Incorporating physical challenges into your life is a powerful way to build resilience. It's a way to train the mind to endure discomfort, to push past limits, and to develop the mental strength to face whatever comes your way. As you think about your resolutions for this year, consider starting with something that challenges your physical limits. A challenging workout, a new sport, or even a simple commitment to daily movement can reinforce your commitment to your own growth. Every time you complete a physically demanding task, you build confidence. You remind yourself that you're capable of more than you think. But the Stoics also understood something crucial. We can't do it alone. Marcus Aurelius, who led armies and fought in wars, often spoke about the importance of relying on others. In Meditations, he compares our journey to that of a soldier storming a wall. If a soldier is wounded, they call on their comrades to help. There's no shame in asking for support. This mentality is crucial in our own lives. Whether it's asking for help with a project, seeking guidance from a mentor, or reaching out to a friend when you're feeling low, asking for help is a powerful act of strength, not weakness. As you pursue your goals this year, remember, no one has all the answers. It's perfectly fine to seek help from those who have already walked the path you want to follow. There's wisdom in learning from others and in acknowledging that we can't and shouldn't do everything alone. We're all in this together. And as you set out to improve yourself, many people make the resolution to read more books. But as Epictetus would tell you, it's not about how many books you read. It's about what you read. The true value lies in reading works that challenge you, push you to think, and inspire you to grow. It's easy to get lost in the pursuit of consuming endless content, but the Stoics urge us to be more deliberate. Seneca warned against the mindless consumption of trivial knowledge. Instead, he encouraged a deeper focus on the timeless works of philosophy, the texts that make us think and reflect. So, as you plan your reading for the year, don't just aim to read a lot. Aim to read wisely. Dive into books that challenge your thinking, that force you to grow, and that encourage real introspection. Revisit those texts that had a profound impact on you, and don't shy away from those that make you uncomfortable or stretch your limits. In the end, self-improvement isn't about checking off boxes or achieving superficial goals. It's about becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. This year, let's draw inspiration from the Stoics, push ourselves physically, seek help when we need it, and commit to reading deeply. Let's become the best versions of ourselves, fully capable of facing whatever life throws at us. Key 1.stoic, it's not just about how many books you read or how many pages you turn. What really matters is how much you're learning and applying from them. True improvement comes from filtering what enters your mind and being intentional with the content you engage with. Ask yourself, can I use this? How will this impact me? What can I learn from it? Everyone has their own unique personality, interests, and areas where they're striving to grow. The key is not simply accumulating books, but identifying those that truly resonate with your personal growth journey. I have an entire bookstore filled with titles to recommend, but the real point is to focus on what works for you and fuels your progress. Reading shouldn't be a numbers game. It should be about quality, not quantity. Choosing material that challenges, educates, and empowers you. As we move into this new year, think about how many books you'll stop reading in 2025 because they're just not cutting it. Make this the year you become intentional about what you consume. Direct your time and energy toward material that fosters real improvement and growth. Only by being thoughtful in your reading habits can you truly expect to improve. Speaking of improvement, there's one simple yet transformative habit that can make a significant difference in your life. It's a habit that can help solve personal issues, work challenges, and even health problems. It's the simple act of getting outside for a walk. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, emphasized walking as a way to nourish and refresh the mind. It doesn't have to be in a forest or on a beach. Just get moving, even if it's in your local parking lot. The point is that movement in nature clears the mental clutter. Even Soren Kierkegaard, in a letter to his sister-in-law, shared how daily walks lifted him out of depression and brought clarity. He walked himself into well-being and, more importantly, walked away from mental and emotional burdens. Walking isn't a cure-all, but few things in life can't be improved with a simple stroll. The Stoics understood the power of being active and getting outdoors. They didn't just sit and contemplate, they also moved, breathed, and engaged with the world around them. So, this year, I challenge you to make walking a part of your daily routine. It's a foundational habit that can do wonders for your mind, body, and spirit. Now, let's talk about another key skill that will dramatically improve your life in 2025: concentration. In today's world, distraction is everywhere, and the ability to focus deeply is becoming increasingly rare. Marcus Aurelius struggled with this too. Despite living in a world with far fewer distractions than we have now, he knew the importance of maintaining sharp focus. He urged himself to concentrate on the task at hand, giving it full attention and dedication. This is where true peak performance and insights come from. But focus doesn't come naturally. It's cultivated through practices like meditation, journaling, and discipline. Seneca, in the midst of chaos, learned to concentrate despite the noise of the world around him. He wrote to a friend about toughening his mind to stay focused even in the most distracting environments. Whether the disturbance was external, like noise or turmoil, or internal, like fear or temptation, he trained his mind to stay calm and focused. This ability to block out distractions and be fully present is something we all can learn to do with effort. It's about narrowing your focus to what truly matters and committing to it without being pulled in a million different directions. This year, make it your mission to cultivate the ability to concentrate. Be where you are while you are there. It's the skill that will set you apart and allow you to perform at your best, no matter what challenges come your way. And finally, let's talk about freedom. Freedom from the things that control us, whether they're addictions, bad habits, or even societal pressures. Seneca once said that a person who is controlled by their desires is a slave. Whether it's addiction to food, technology, or any other craving, the true enemy is the lack of freedom to choose, to be able to abstain without suffering. To have mastery over yourself is the key to living a life of purpose. This year, aim to break free from the things that hold you back. It's not about being perfect. It's about freeing yourself from dependence and reclaiming control over your life. So, stop trying to be perfect. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Instead, focus on freeing yourself from distractions, improving your ability to concentrate, and being intentional with what you consume, whether that's books, habits, or even relationships. Only then can you truly make this year your best one yet. Key 1. Stoic in a creative journey. Perfectionism can often be both a blessing and a curse. One artist, after months of meticulous work, found herself in a deep spiral of self-doubt. Despite the effort, dedication, and a prestigious fellowship behind her, she felt like her work wasn't good enough. Her dancers thought it was great, her friends gave their praise, but all she could focus on were the flaws, how it didn't match the vision she had in her mind. She was convinced her entire year of work was ruined. She was caught in a trap where her high standards became an enemy, keeping her from finishing anything. This is the heartbreaking reality for many talented individuals. They're great because they set their bar so high, but those same high standards often stop them from finishing their work. The result? A kind of creative paralysis. It's a cycle where nothing is ever good enough. We become obsessed with the idea of perfection, believing that we can't move forward until something is flawless. This isn't dedication, it's fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, and ultimately, fear of taking action. Winston Churchill famously said, "Perfectionism is better spelled paralysis." And that's exactly what it is, a form of resistance, rooted in an aversion to finishing what we've started. It's easy to think of perfectionism as a virtue, but it's actually a vice that keeps us from taking that final step. It's a kind of self-absorption, a mental trap that paralyzes us into inaction. The Stoics, however, offer a different approach. They didn't believe in perfectionism, but they also didn't believe in settling for mediocrity. As Epictetus put it, we can't expect to be free of error, but we can always strive to avoid it. Stoicism is about continuous improvement, not waiting for perfection. It's about making progress every day, even if it's just a small step. The idea isn't to abandon a goal because we can't perfect it. It's to keep improving no matter how small the improvements might seem. This is the real challenge. Finishing what we start, moving forward even when things aren't perfect. It's about embracing imperfection and recognizing that perfectionism, in the end, is just a form of cowardice. It shields us from doing the hard work of completing something. In 2025, a powerful way to live with intention is to choose a single word to focus on throughout the year. It's like setting a guiding star, a word that helps shape your decisions and your actions. Just as yogis set an intention before each session, Stoics use words, what they called epithets, to remind themselves of their principles and values. These are words that clarify our focus and center our minds when life gets chaotic. Pick a word for the year, one that speaks to the person you want to become. Maybe you need to slow down and trust the process. Try patience. If you want to stand strong through challenges, maybe steadfast is your word. If you're aiming to be more generous, kindness could be a touchstone. Or perhaps, after a tough year, you could choose resilience to remind you to keep going despite obstacles. For me, previous years have been about words like less and systems, learning to simplify, organizing my life, and creating less noise. This year, I'm still reflecting on the word that will guide me through 2025. Whatever it is, the goal is to let this word become a lens through which all your decisions pass, keeping you aligned with what truly matters. When things get hard, when distractions arise, this word brings you back to what's most important. The Stoics remind us that the best time to start was yesterday. But if you haven't started, then the second best time is now. Procrastination is the opposite of progress. It tells us to wait, to put things off for another day. But the reality is, every moment spent waiting is a moment we could have been working. Instead of putting off what's important, we must take action now. The habit of doing things now is a foundational one for building a successful life. By making deposits into the future today, we ensure that our success is not just a result of chance, but the consequence of deliberate effort. So what's your word for the year? What principle will you live by to help you focus, finish what you start, and progress toward a better version of yourself? Choose wisely and make sure it keeps you moving forward, no matter how imperfect the journey might seem.